What up, YouTube? Team Movies here. With Halloween around the corner, I decided today to do yesterday I did my top 10 favorite horror movie directors. So now I'm going to be talking about the actors and the actress who's best known for the horror genre. So this video, I'm going to talk about my top 10 favorite horror movie actors. Then the second one, I'm going to talk about my 10 favorite horror movie actresses. So with that being said, here's my top 10 favorite horror movie actors. Alright. Coming in at number 10, it is Gunnar Hansen. R.I.P. Gunnar Hansen. Awesome horror actor. I mean, you might not recognize the name, but Gunnar Hansen played a horror icon. He played the original Leatherface in the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I mean, it was pretty cool seeing Gunnar Hansen play that role. He pretty much plays a killer who whose masks are from people's faces. I mean, that's pretty messed up right there. And he also been in other horror films. He was in the horror film Death House, which was like the Expendables of horror films. He was in a film called Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers, which I don't think I ever seen that. I kind of want to see that now. He was also in Brewer Massacre, but his best work like was and will always be as Leatherface. So that's kind of why he's in this list. Alright, coming in at number 9, it is Doug Bradley. Now, Doug Bradley is an awesome horror actor, and he played a really cool horror icon. He played the role of Pinhead in Hellraiser, and he's also been in some other stuff like Nightbreed, Wrong Turn 5, Bloodlines, Scream Park, Pumpkinhead. Um, he was in Ashes to Ashes, The Cottage. I mean, Doug Bradley, he's the man, but his best role will always be Pinhead in the Hellraiser franchise. Like he actually only played it in he played a role in a couple of the franchise, but yeah, Pinhead is definitely the role we know him more as, and he just plays that Pinhead role so darn creepy. I mean, a killer with pins in his face. What more can you ask for there? And Doug Bradley, he's a really cool horror actor. Like even if the horror film isn't that good, he's great in them. And he was actually really great in Wrong Turn Bloodlines. I mean, I quite got run out of the last Wrong Turn movie, but that was because of how great Doug Bradley was in that. Alright, coming in at number 8 is R.I.P. Sir. That is the always great, creepy actor, Sid Haig. Now, Sid Haig, I probably should have added him a little higher, but to be honest, some of the actors in my top few lists, I kind of like slightly more. But that does take away of how awesome Sid Haig was. I mean, he of course appeared in Rob Zombie's Firefly trilogy, which indicated with Devil's Rejects, House of 10,000 Corpses. He had a very small role in Dream from Hell, so there's that. Sid Haig was also in Hatchet 3, Rob Zombie's Halloween, Death House, Night of the Living Dead 3D, which I never seen, but I should check that one out. I mean, Sid Haig, he's a really cool. He was a great horror actor, and I was really heartbroken when it was announced that he passed away not so long ago. I mean, sadly, he actually passed away a week before, a week after I saw Dream from Hell, and despite him not having that much a big presence in Dream from Hell, I really still like seeing him on screen. I mean, even when this guy is in films that aren't good, his presence is always remarkable. And I kind of wish they did more with him in Hatchet 3, though. But anyway. Alright, my number 7 favorite is going to be Mr. Bruce Campbell. I mean, Bruce Campbell, he's the man. I mean, he's, of course, played Ash Williams in the Evil Dead films. He played Elvis in Bubba Hotep. I mean, if you guys never see Bubba Hotep, that is an awesome film. He was also a Maniac Cop from Dusk Till Dawn 2. I mean, Bruce Campbell. Bruce Campbell is the man, and him as Ash Williams is definitely his iconic role. They play the role from the first three Evil Dead films. He of course reprised the role for Ash vs. Evil Dead, which I still hate stars for canceling. But I mean, Bruce Campbell is he's just an awesome actor, and he's been in like non-horror films as well. Like remember he played remember he appeared in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. That was pretty cool to see. But his best parts are in horror films. So. All right, coming in at number 6, it is Brad Dourif. Now, Brad Dourif, of course, is best known for playing the role of Chucky in the Child's Play franchise, and he also appeared in other stuff like Rob Zombie Halloween films, Graveyard Shifts, Critters 4, The Exorcist 3. But his best role will and is always going to be Chucky. I mean, Mark Hamill, in the recent Child's Play remake, Mark Hamill was great. I love Mark Hamill as well. But I still probably prefer Brad Dourif's role as Chucky. Like, he played that creepiest voice very well. Like, he was so foul-mouthed as the role of Chucky. If you ever want to hear Brad Dourif curse up a storm, Chucky is definitely a character you'll let you watch. And, yeah, Brad Dourif he's the man. And, of course, he's been, like, other stuff as well, like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. But it's really Chucky that lots of people will associate him with. Alright, coming in at number 5, it is Tony Todd. Now, Tony Todd, of course, played the horror icon Candyman. I mean, Candyman is one messed up character. Now, of course, we are getting a Candyman reboot coming next year, which I believe I've been hearing that Tony Todd might appear in that. I've been hearing that's a rumor and all that, so I'm not sure if he's really going to appear in that one. But hey, Tony Todd, he's awesome. And he's been in loads of other great horror films, like outside of Candyman. I mean, he appeared in the three of the Final Destination films. He was in Night of the Living Dead, Wishmaster, Death House. He was also in Hatchet 1 and 2, which this might be a bit of a spoiler for Hatchet 2. But my God, in Hatchet 2, Tony Todd had one of the most gruesome deaths I've seen in film history. I mean, where Victor Crowley ends up, cutting Tony Todd's character in half, but somehow Tony Todd is still living, and so Victor Crowley just goes to his stomach and takes out his pretty much skins him to death and shows it somehow he's still alive, by the way, which I have no idea how you could be alive after getting your whole skin out from your body, but yeah, Tony Todd. I mean, that's probably the most gruesome death I've seen from him. But, yeah, of course, his best role will always be Candyman. And it was pretty cool seeing him pop up in that horror film, Hellfest. And not so long ago, he also on on season 3 of VH1 Scream. So he's still very big with the horror genre. Alright, coming in at number 4, it's going to be Bill Moseley. Now, Bill Moseley have worked with Rob Zombie loads of times. I mean, Bill Moseley worked with Rob Zombie on Devil's Rejects, most recent Dream from Hell, House of 10,000 Corpses, the Halloween, his Halloween reboot. I mean, Rob Zombie and Bill Moseley their relationship is kind of similar to Leo DiCaprio and Martin Scorsese's relationship, I guess you want to look at it that way. And Bill Moseley, he's been in some other great horror stuff as well. He was in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. He was in Texas Chainsaw 3D. He was great in Repo the Genetic Opera. I mean, come on, that had Paris Hilton in it. Monkey asked for there. And who knew that Bill Moseley could sing, by the way? Anyway, of course, he was also in a horror film called Evil Bong. Yeah, there's a horror movie about Bong that kills. So yeah. He was also in Night of the Living Dead remake, Devil's Carnival, the Blob remake, The Tortured. He also has a new horror film where he plays a clown, which I can't remember the name of it. I think it's called Creepfest, something like that. That sounds really interesting. And he also played Charles Manson one time. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I even one time I did my list of actors who I want to see play Joker, and Bill Moseley was actually in that list. Like, I think he'll only play the Joker. Maybe Rob Zombie was the director, but yeah, Bill Moseley, he's the man, and I kind of wish he was a bigger actor, but I think more people in the horror, who's big in the horror genre would know who Bill Moseley is more. But you know. All right, coming in at number 3, it's going to be Kane Hodder. Now, Kane Hodder, like, his name is not really that recognizable to most people, but if you're big in the horror movie circle, you know who Kane Hodder is. He, of course, played Jason Voorhees in loads of the Jason movies. Like, he played him in New Blood, Jason Takes Manhattan, Jason X. He did the aforementioned Victor Crowley in the Hatchet movies. He appeared in Wishmaster. He played this killer in BTK. He was in Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw. He played Ed Gein in a horror film. Of course, he was in Behind the Mask, Rise of Leslie Vernon. If you guys haven't seen that one, check that one out. Pumpkinhead 2. He was in the aforementioned Death House. He was in the horror film Muck. I mean, this guy's been loads of interesting horror flicks, and I mean, Kane Hodder, he's the man, and like he's also very buff, and he's very impact with the horror genre. Like, there's actually a documentary about Kane Hodder, which I haven't seen yet, but I have no idea where to even find that yet. But yeah, Kane Hodder, like his career is awesome. Like, even if he's not in a good movie, he's actually great in that. So yeah, I mean, Jason X, that's a good movie at all, but him as Jason is just perfect. I mean, I'm still hoping we'll maybe see him back as Jason in the future, but I don't know if that will ever happen. All right, coming in at number 2, it is Bela Lugosi. I mean, such a horror icon. He of course played Dracula. He was in The Wolfman. He was in Son of Frankenstein, The Invisible Ray. He was in the horrible. Sorry about that, guys. Anyway, he was in the horrible Planet 9 film. I mean, yeah, Bela Lugosi, he was the man when it came to horror. I mean, I actually call Bill Moseley this generation's Bela Lugosi, because he kind of reminds me a little bit of Bela Lugosi at time. And I mean, of course, Bela Lugosi's best iconic role will always be as Count Dracula. I mean, he was very invested in that role. Like I mentioned one time, at Bela Lugosi had his funeral. He was actually buried in his Dracula uniform, which I thought was pretty cool. But yeah, he was the man. I mean, such a really great horror icon. All right, now my number 1 favorite horror movie actor of all time goes to another actor who played a horror icon, and that is going to Mr. Robert Englund. I mean, Robert Englund, he was, he's still alive. I mean, he is the man. I love Robert Englund. Of course, he played Freddy Krueger in the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. He played him once again in Freddy vs. Jason. He was great in 2001 Maniacs. He's also in that not-so-great movie, Zombie Strippers, with Janet Jameson. He was in Rise of Leslie Vernon. He was in Lake Placid vs. Anaconda, Python, The Mangler. He got messed up in Hatchet. I mean, yeah, he was actually the first major person to get killed in the first Hatchet movie by Victor Crowley. He was in that horror movie Urban Legends. I mean, his iconic role will always be as Freddy Krueger. Because Freddy Krueger is just one of the most iconic horror figures in movie history. And Jackie Earle Haley, he was a good Freddy Krueger, but I mean, Robert Englund, he will always be Freddy Krueger. No matter who you get to replace him, no one could really top Robert Englund now. And not to mention, Robert Englund actually ended up reprising his role as Freddy Krueger on an episode of The Goldberg, so I thought that was pretty cool to watch. But yeah, Robert Englund, he's the man, and he is and will always be one of the best horror actors. I mean, he's awesome. But that's pretty much it. Let me do the quick rundown. 10, Gunnar Hansen. 9, Doug Bradley. 8, Sid Haig. 7, Bruce Campbell. 6. Brad Dourif. 5. Tony Todd. 4. Bill Moseley. 3. Kane Hodder. 2. Bela Lugosi. 1. Robert Englund. Now, there's loads of other horror actors I probably added. Let's see. Christopher Lee's a great one. Vincent Price is another good one. Lon Chaney Jr. Peter Cushing. There's also let's see. There's also Donna Pleasance. I mean, he's a horror icon right there. Let's see. Micah Berryman. Dick Miller. Let's see. Lance Henriksen. Jeffrey Combs is a great one. Another one. Roger Corman. Wait, he's never been. Ken Forey, that's a good one. Doug Jones, Micah Goat, aka Alfred from Batman. He was in a lot of horror films. Nosferatu actor Max Schreck is a good one. Tobin Bell, Tyler Mane, who of course played Mike Myers in the Rob Zombie Halloween films. I mean, some really great horror actors out there. But let me leave it to you guys. Some of your favorite horror movie actors of all time. Drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for more notifications. This here is Team Movies signing off.